Okay, we're going to review this Redcat Shredder. I just bought it in from testing the tires, the Big Joes. The body is durable. It's heavy. Those who know me from the early days of posting on electric cars know that this RC caught fire on the it had run twice. The first time it ran, spur gear was plastic and it went about 20 feet. So once I got the spur gear in and got everything put together, I put a battery in it and it burned up. The ESC had issues. So I replaced all the electronics and I put a 6S system in it. Got it running good. In the meantime, I used a hot water bath and a heat gun to unfold and uncrinkle the body to where it would become usable. And this is heavy stuff. Okay, where's that Italian body at? I don't know where I did with it. It's around here somewhere. But anyway, this Redcat Shredder body is heavier than the Colossus body, which is between the Shredder. This is between the Shredder and Italian. Italian body is as thin as I ever seen, you know, on an RC. I've got older RC nitro cars here, and including a Rustler that I fixed for somebody, and this Rustler body is probably as heavy as the Italian. This is the old Exceed Nitro buggy body. It's heavier. All of them are heavier, you know. Arma cut a lot of corners on their stuff. They make some great cars. The platform is excellent, but on the average, I see guys spending $200 to $300 bringing the car up to a certain point, and even then, you know, it's nowhere near bulletproof because the differentials just ain't got it going on. While the gears themselves are quality, the gears are no better than the housing you put them in. And as I've said many times, the diff housings on the Arma vehicles are the thinnest that I've seen on all the RCs. Now let's get down to adjustability. You've got full steering control on the Shredder. This Shredder suspension system is stock, and I've tinkered with it, with the toe in, etc. And it's basically been fairly predictable and fairly reliable. The shocks have been excellent. I've only checked them and set them one time, and no matter what I was doing, I didn't have to readjust them. I did run the springs down a little bit tighter in the back because of dealing with the power band that I had put in this thing, because in the wheelie bar I didn't want it crunching down so hard and so fast, and so I took the bite out of it by tightening up the springs. And I'm real slow about buying new springs, because if you can run the wheel, if I can run the wheel down and tighten them up, I don't see buying new springs so I can have this all the way up just to have the full range. I just don't see it. In the racing world, we full-size cars, when we have adjustability and it fits the spectrum, we don't change it for the sake of aesthetics. Very few guys actually do that. So enough said on that one. Upgrades that I did: I use an Arma motor mount here. I've got the motor reverse position from where it is on the Arma, which means it's running in reverse. But I got the power band set right, the ESC set right. The GPM servo mount, I took the Redcat servo and servo mount system out. It has a servo laying on its side, etc. I've got this one standing up. On the rear brace on my copters, on the large copters like this puppy here, I have, if I can get this off of here, these are 25mm tubes, and you see this block right here, this block right here, it's a universal clamping block for attaching accessories to the bird. That's exactly the space. The outside measurement on this is 30mm, and that's the same as this to that surface. So I put one of these blocks under that upper brace and got rid of the plastic ones. So now that brace, this system does not move. The shock tower bends, but this stuff don't move back and forth no more. You can look at the center here and see that it's not moving when I do this. It's not moving at all. I put one on the front as well, so it's dead stiff. You've guys seen this thing do cartwheels and flip hard, bash that way, hit stuff, bam, 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 bam. And other than snatching one of these things off when the tire went bad, I haven't had any issues. So durability gets a 10 out of 10. I haven't broken anything that's worth worrying about. I've had people tell me that they've changed the ESC to a 6S ESC with the stock motor, but I don't know, because when I got this one it had a 6S motor in it, but the motor was not quite up to the task, and the motor is actually what caused the ESC and everything else to go bad. It wasn't, the ESC was probably fine, but after taking it apart and inspecting some things, the motor was the issue there. So with that said, I can't tell you honestly about the stock systems. One thing I will say, that it comes from the factory stock with aluminum carriers, which is something you don't see on the others. Now, I don't know how much of that slop is supposed to be there for this thing here, but I think it's a bearing issue. Let me see if the other one feels like that. Yeah, they both feel sucky, so I'm going to deal with that down the road. But I've got a CNC machine in the pipeline. It's on layaway, but I'm not going to be getting into any of that till after the move. How does it operate at speed? Well, running across a football field at 50-60 miles an hour, at half throttle, still very responsive. At 60-70 yards away, still very responsive. And that was using the Tactic remote, which is the same one that comes with the armor vehicles. No issues. The steering is sloppy. The center set in here, if I hold this one, you can see that there's a good 3/8 of an inch movement in there. And I took them out and I checked them, and it's a factory issue, and I haven't yet found upgrades for this part. So it's going to be another one of those things that once I got the CNC up and running, I will be making some serious parts for this thing, because this RC, for its size, has definitely got it going on. The tub sides are high all the way around, so it's less likely to end up with a lot of debris. And as I said about the body fits it well and is very durable. Like all the other plastic bumpers, they break. You know, this one lasts about 3-4 runs, and I've epoxied it back. I'm going to make the new one out of aluminum and put a spring behind it with a hinge so that it acts like a shock bumper. Haven't broken the wing off of it, haven't broken any axles, haven't ruined any bearings. And another tip, the diff parts for the housing on this Redcat Shredder are compatible with the armor. Now the gear itself is not, in that if you want to swap the gear with the armor, you have to use the carrier bearing and the front mount that goes with it. Other than that, it all swaps out, and I know that because I did that. The diff that I was running when I had this thing on 8S was, the back end of it was the Redcat diff, and the front end of it was the armor diff. Now, so there's compatibility options there. You know, if you don't mind drilling holes and you know how to get it done right, you know, this car has some serious options. My next thing is going to be to measure the length of these and to measure the length and diameter of the rods. and not so much for the top but for the bottom, because if I can make some things out of aluminum for this thing, this car is already close to bulletproof. The platform, the design, the shape and weight, it's not much heavier than Italian for what it is, which is definitely surprising. And I'm thinking that if you take these tubs off and change the bracing system, you could probably drop a pound to a pound and a half. It'd make one hell of a 6-scale dragster, because it just, with the power to it, it goes nuts. Zero issues with the diffs in the back. Zero issues with the diffs in the front. I'm running, what is it, 200 in the front, 100 center, 100 rear. Stupid. 8S is stupid. 6S stupid. No gear issues with either power system. It handled it like a champ. Handled it like a champ. And once I put that this puppy here, this GRP servo mount in here, the steering became 50% more responsive because the servo itself wasn't moving. And the Arma BLX mount is working out perfectly. As you can see, it's reversed. That hole right there is where the diff would go through if it was on an Arma vehicle. The motor would be over here and diff, blah blah blah. WP 8BL150 ESC handles it. XT90s. There's the and I make all my own stuff, so you know, no biggie there. And I'll tell you what's funny and surprising. For all the cartwheels and smacking around this car has done, I have not broken one of these plastic shock towers. That's impressive. That's impressive. Let me get a I haven't measured these bad boys. See if I can find that digital caliper and tell you how thick these guys are. Where's that caliper? Because they look pretty stinky. See, that's about the same right there. Nope. 15 millimeter on these puppies. All right. To that line. Excuse me, 12 millimeter thick. That's big. And that's the thinnest part of it. It widens up to about 18 millimeter at the top, and it spreads out again at the bottom. The shock shafts, see if I can get something on that shaft. Shock shafts. Four millimeter shock shafts. They're all aluminum. Caps, the whole nine. No issues with the shock shafts. I did cross thread one of these. I had grabbed the wrong nut, and it was one on the back on this side. I'm going to upgrade the bearings in it. It deserves that. I'm going to make this, and I'm going to pull that steering member out of there and make that out of aluminum as well, because it's flat, so it's an easy make. I just clamp it to a piece of aluminum, take off the extra material, center punch the holes, drill them out, put it on, done. No more slop. Again, that'll be something that happens after the move. And that's that. For the money, knowing that you can buy a shredder and put a 6S ESC on it and go right to 6S, you know, with this thing being $350 shipped, I just don't see how you can go wrong. the original Shredder tires that came on it. They were okay tires. They were just worn like hell, so they weren't all that great. But tires are tires. If you're not going to strap them or bind them or whatever, then you get what you get. As far as traction goes, people are partial to the traction where they run, which is why I don't talk about personal preferences on tires, because RCs come with tires, and if they put tires on the RC for this guy, they're not going to work for that guy. So they basically make tires a general issue. I understand that. So that's why I say, you know, we talk about personal. Well, you expect a guy to haul in 10 yards of dirt so he can like what you like on tires? I don't think that's going to happen. That's a little bit comical to me. But yeah, these tires are good. They got the, you can see where they've been put together. Still got the tits in there. That was their first run, and they're great. The roundness, even after strapping, the roundness was basically, I couldn't tell the difference, and they didn't swell. Tape held good. It's just a great all-around RC. I mean, for the money, based on what's out there, you just can't go wrong. Because you don't have to worry about upgrading a lot of stuff when you first get it, unless if you're going to increase the power band, you may want to look at making the center brace stiffer. But other than that, you know, they say that this switch on the stock shredder, because of the way it's set up, if you hit something, it turns off. Well, I got my switch reversed so that it's forward. So if I hit something, it ain't gonna turn off. Because I'm using 150 amp or better, I've got 10 gauge wire here, and anything I have with 10s on it has either EC5s or XT90s. EC5s is because of the copters. The smaller copters have XT60s, EC5 adapters. The larger copters are EC5s. So that's where my battery thing comes from, because when you're flying copters, you're not with one ESC, you're dealing with anywhere from 4 to 8, and with my copters it's a 6 to 8, and when you got 6 to 8 35 to 80 amp ESCs, you can't be scrimping, because a power failure costs you a couple $1,000s. You know, it ain't, sometimes it can be so bad as to not be worth taking home. You stop at the dumpster and leave it, because there ain't nothing left. So guys, if you got 350 burning a hole in your pocket and you want something bigger than A scale, you know, my money's on the shredder, because you guys see how I drive it, and other than a tire tearing up one of these, it literally snatched this piece out of that. It didn't break it, it snatched it out and snatched this off the car. So, but it didn't break anything. It didn't break the housing, it didn't break the, or change the shape of the holes. There you have it. There you have it. So I'm going to do some more research and make sure that nobody's making aluminum stuff for this before I fire it up on these CNC, because once I get that CNC, all these arms and stuff that you can buy aluminum and everything else, I'm going to be making them, because they are less than a ½ inch thick, which means they are well within the manufacturer range of that CNC table. Size, weight, hardness, the whole bit. So this is one of them that's going to be getting there. Appreciate you guys, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be, you know, doing this. I wouldn't be sharing it, and I'm just trying to keep up with the rest of you. I ain't trying to cut no new pathways or be no thises or no that's. And like I always say, I appreciate being part of the community. I appreciate all you guys that share, you cats that tolerate us old guys, and it's new territory. And next, I'm going to the next review that comes out, not a review, but the next video that comes out will be, after I get this and the house video, stuff like that, the next RC video that comes out will probably be later in the week or the weekend, and it'll be the last video on batteries. And I'm going to explain how your batteries are put together to give you what it is you see when you open the box and hold it in your hand. You know, there is no such thing as one battery. If you got a 3S batteries, it's a combination of 3 batteries. If you got a 4S battery, it's a combination of 4 batteries. 5S, 6S, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever you got, it is a combination and multiples of one being added to another. So when you look at that LiPo battery in your hand, whatever number S it is, that's how many batteries it is. Okay, that's how many batteries it is. So that's coming up this weekend. Oh, thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for your support. And RC Bash and Creighton, I'm shouting at you. I'm getting ready to post up a video asking a question that of all the guys that I interact with regularly, I'm figuring probably only you can answer. So knockety knock knock, my brother. Here I come. Here I come, because I know you got the goods. And if you ain't got them, you probably going to be just like me and go find them, because you probably know places to look that I don't. So, God bless all you cats. Gary Baldwin, Killer Off-Road Hobbies, get well. Family for you, get well. Dr. Kizz, get well. Kenny, glad you're feeling better, man. Glad your kids are healthy. Rest of you cats, anybody else out there is getting sick. I know Commander wasn't feeling too good a while back. Glad you're doing better, brother. Hope your family's doing okay. And to my Puerto Rican friends who have been getting into the channel, buenos días, como estás, amigos? And to the 2 guys from Germany to sub my channel that don't even speak English, guten Morgen. Knocking it down, brothers. Love you cats. Yeah, so here's what it is. Appreciate you. Stay blessed. God bless. Get blessed if you ain't blessed. And get well, everybody. Mr. Phil in the pits. See you later. Bye.